Okay, we got it started. Awesome. So good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I trust that we're all doing well. I trust that we're all doing great. So today, um, I will be taking us through. Okay, so basically, we are going to be having the class that we were supposed to have last week. Although, for those that actually joined last week, I said I was not going to take this again, but let's just say I had a change of mind and I decided to just take this again. So first thing first, I want to introduce us to front end mentor. So I want to introduce us to front end mentor. Basically, what is front end mentor? Front end mentor is just is a site or yeah, a platform where you can actually see challenges that you can pick up as a front end developer. Okay, you can see challenges that you can take up, you can use to practice, you can use to build your portfolios. Okay. So it actually has a paid version. But I mean, me and some other people that I know, we've kind of used the free version, the freemium to the best of our ability. So there are some actually. So if you come to this tutor here, you'll see some that actually has JavaScript, that has API also, that has API consumption also. So for now, you can stick with HTML and CSS, and then you can filter this according to the difficulty level you want. If you want newbie, if you want guru, if you want advanced. Okay, so I believe these guru and advanced are for the JS and API part. So if you want intermediate, also there are intermediate classes there. There are intermediate challenges there. There are junior challenges there also. There are newbie challenges also. So you just filter according to what you want to do, according to the difficulty level you want. Take it on, try your hand on it. I mean, just do something so you have something to actually prove that yeah, I actually know this thing. I know what I'm doing. I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. Because even when you want to go for internship, they still want to see what you've been able to do so far. Okay. Even when you want to go for internship, they still want to see what you've been able to do so far. So imagine you going for an internship and they ask you what have you done so far, and you be like, nothing. And compared to someone that they ask what have you done before, and so the person is showing them a weather app that you've built, a website, a very responsive website that they've built, and all of those things. So compare, even you as an employer or as a recruiter, you would definitely convert someone, um you would definitely consider someone that has a proof of what they've been doing compared to someone that does not have a proof of what they've been doing. So yeah, that's the essence of front end method. So you can pick up challenges from here. The premium challenges actually give you access to the Figma, but the free ones you don't have access to the Figma. You only get access to the images, to the assets, and the starter files. So in this class, we're going to be taking up some challenges from here. I already opened up some couple of challenges. So let's start with okay. So yeah, for the ones that have free plus, so there are three tiers on this front end mentor. There's free for free. You can only get the words. You can only get the images. Let me just show you what it looks like. So for the free, you can only get what this is what you get. You get the JPEG design of the files, okay? You get the style guide, the color guide. You get the asset that you're supposed to use have been optimized. You get a README file also, and you get an HTML file that has been pre-written with the content. Okay, so you don't have to start typing the content from the images. The content will have been pre-written for you, and then you can just use that. So yeah, that is that. And then for the free plus, you have access to the Figma. You can actually, so if we actually start this challenge, you get access to the Figma. You can actually see the Figma file, which is reason why we'll be doing this one, because I want to show us what it looks like to be working with Figma, to be converting a Figma design to um to an actual code. Okay, so we'll be taking this challenge amongst all the others. So we'll be starting with this challenge. So this is the challenge that we want to get started with. So what do we do? You are going to log in with, just create an account and log in, and then you can now click on what? Start challenge. When you click on the start challenge, you get access to the what? The Figma file, and you get access to the starter file. Okay, so I'm going to download the starter file. Okay, that has been downloaded, and I'm going to download the Figma file also. That has also been downloaded. Awesome. So now I'm going back to my what? I'm going to my file explorer. Okay, I'm going to my file explorer. Um that should be in my downloads. Download. Okay, yeah, so this is it. So this is the Figma file. This is the main document itself. So I'm just going to open this one. It's going to extract it out for me so I can move this into, give me a minute. Let me just move it into Dive Africa. So going to my Dive Africa file. So this is it. So I'm going to open my VS Code here. Mm, mm, mm. So I'm going to open my VS Code here. Not this one. Yeah, this one. So this is what we get from this as the starter file. Okay, this is what we get as the starter file. So if you open here, these are the designs. If there's a design folder, there's an asset folder, and there is a preview here that's showing you what it should actually look like. That's like a preview, a general preview. And then there are readme files. So you would want to go through all of these readme files, okay? Because look at it, this contains some contents that you'll be needing, and this contains some instructions also. This contains what? The style guide. Okay, you have gray 50, you have yellow, white, and all of those colors. So, and also what else do we have here? We have the HTML file with some pre-written content for us. Okay, so we don't have to generate the content right from the to be typing the content from the picture. Okay, and then inside the design, what do we have inside the design? We have active states. Okay, that means when your mouse is over that particular that's active state, when your mouse is over or on click. And then we have the desktop design. This is what it looks like. And then the mobile design, this is what the mobile design looks like also. Okay, and then inside the asset, what do we have? We have the fonts that we're going to be using. Okay, these are the fonts that we're going to be using. We have Fig Tree Extra Bold, Fig Tree Extra Medium, and Fig Tree Medium, and then Fig Tree Italic, and all of those things. And then also for images, we have what? This is from one of the images that we're going to be needing. This is a favicon, and this is the avatar image that we have in the design also. So we basically have all of the assets that we need. What else do we need to do? Just get into action. Okay, so sorry, let me open the Figma file. Give me a minute. I'm going back to my download. I'm going back to my download. I'm going to extract this Figma file. Okay, so I can move this also into Java Africa. Sorry, let me just move this into Java Africa. Okay, so this is the Figma file. I can open this up. So if you don't have Figma installed on your laptop, you can go to, if you don't have Figma installed on your laptop, you can go to figma.com. Okay, you can go to figma.com, and then you click on, give me a minute, my laptop is ready. And then you can import, sorry, yeah, and then you can import the project. So you import from computer. So the icon for import, let me just show you. Let me just show this again. Don't let me do it so fast. So you can click, there's an icon for import up here to the top right. Click on import, import from computer, and then you look for that particular file that you're trying to import. So mine is inside here. inside the Figma, and I can import this. Okay, you can see that it's importing. So let me just close this one that is open here. Let me just close this. Yeah, good. Okay. So we're going to use this one. Yeah, done. See, it has imported. You can see this now. So I can now open it. So with this now, even though I don't want to use all of the assets that are actually given to me here, I can actually get the assets right from here if I don't want to use the assets that are actually in this. If I don't want to use the asset from here, I can actually grab them from here. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I hope I'm not too fast.
Yes, sir.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah, I beat fast, so.
yeah, exactly. I want someone to be sincere, please. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm just going to reduce my pace a little bit. Okay, thank you. So let me just grab this and put it in here. Okay. So now we have our Figma file. Sorry, let me just open the Figma up again. So we have our Figma file here. Okay. We have our Figma file, and then we have our, okay, this is going to be our preview later. But for now, we're going to just let it be that. So now let's go. So this is like an overview. So Figma has pages. Okay, I'm not supposed to be doing this because this is not a design class. Figma has pages, so different pages for different reasons. So if you go to the design system, it shows you the color guides. Okay, the color, the yellow, what is the color code for the yellow and all of those things. The gray, what is the color code for the gray? The gray 500, what is the color for it? White, what is the color for it? What is, and all of those things. And then the font. So from here, you can actually see the font that you're using. So this is fig tree extra bold. Let's go and check if we can get this from Google Fonts. I think it's font.google, exactly, fonts.google.com. And we are looking for fig tree. We are looking for fig tree. Oh, yeah, it's here. Thank God. I think I once told you guys how much I hate installing fonts locally. I just prefer to just come to Google Fonts and come and get everything that I need. So, yeah, we're going to get all of these fonts. Download all. Oh, sorry, I'm not downloading. Sorry, I'm supposed to just get embed. So, get the embed code. What do we want to use? We need it for the web. So we have two options. You can either grab this and put it in your in the HTML head, or you grab the imports. Okay, so I'm just going to go with this. Let's just go with this. So I'm going to into the HTML head now. I'm trying to slow down. So I'm going into the HTML head now. I'm pasting this here. Okay, so we already have our font. Awesome. So I can close Google Fonts now and go back to my Figma. Okay, we are here. Now let's now go to the design itself. This is the design system. Okay, now let's now go to the design itself. Bam, this is the design, this is the desktop mode, this is the mobile, this is main page. You can see main page, and then this is on over, on active, on error, on whatever. But then currently we only have one state, which is on over. So if you are working on a very, very broad design system, you'll be seeing this is the desktop on over, this is the desktop on error, this is the desktop on active, this is the desktop on focus, and all of those things. But currently here, what we currently have in this design is just what on over. Okay, which actually, if you look at it, is basically the same thing with what we have here. You see that? It's basically the same thing with what you have here. Okay, cool. Now let's just zoom in into our design very well. So this is our design desktop, and this is our design for mobile. Okay, this is the desktop, this is the mobile. So we are going to be taking a mobile first approach. Okay, we're going to be taking what? A mobile first approach. So that will bring me to ask the question. Nkechi, yeah, Nkechi,
Yes.
what
Yes, sir.
does mobile first approach mean?
A mobile first approach means that it will take it will put in consideration first the mobile view, how it would look on a phone.
Exactly, awesome. So meaning that we're going to be putting in mind the mobile screen first, and then we're going to be building what is going to look like on the large screen. And that way is actually small, it's actually easy to actually build for mobile first, then switch to big screen, than building from big screen and now switching to mobile screen. So it's always easy to actually do mobile first. So yeah. Someone is asking that, can we say the design is responsive? Yes, because we have the desktop and then we have the mobile. So yeah, definitely this is responsive. This is responsive. I mean, even for some design, you will see desktop, tablet, mobile. So yeah, sorry guys, give me a minute. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, so I was saying that even for some design, you see desktop, tablet, and mobile. So they cater for what is going to look like on all screen sizes. Okay, but yeah, that does not mean that this is not responsive. Also, this is very much responsive because we basically have the desktop and we have the mobile. So if you like, you can actually build the mobile to also affect the tablet. And if you like, you can just build that the desktop should still look good on the tablet. While when you now go lesser than tablet, they get to see the mobile screen. So yeah, it's all dependent on your what on your intuition. Okay, awesome. So now let's get started. So we are going to, I don't want to run live server because I kind of have like other server running on this computer. So I don't want to run live server. So I'm um just going to open this up in my HTML. Okay. So this is what it looks like currently. Okay. This is what it looks like currently. Learning, publish, blah 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 blah, all of this and that, yada 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 yada, so on and so forth. Okay. First things first, yeah. We want to grab all of this content. Okay. I mean, depends on you. You can just comment it out and start building, but myself, I don't like seeing comments flying around, unnecessary comments flying around in my code. So I'm just going to grab this. I'm going to just look for I don't want to put it here either. Okay, so let's just leave it there. I wanted to just create a readme before, but let's just leave it there. Okay, so meaning that currently now we should have a blank page. Awesome. Now let's start with the word the big div, which is what this oh yeah, one more setup. We are going to be using Tailwind. Yeah, we are going to be using Tailwind CSS. We are going to be using Tailwind CSS. Is there anyone in here that is hearing Tailwind for the first time? Anyone on this call that is hearing Tailwind for the first time? Anyone on this call?
Yes, this is my first time.
Same here, sir.
Have you guys consumed the LMS content?
Sir, there was an issue with the
No,
element
sir.
for like 2 weeks
It's
or some
hanging.
weeks. So there
Oh,
were issues with that element for like 2 weeks or even more than that. I think after that Thursday class, the one we had, I didn't even know of. So after that week, the element was not even working. So it just fixed as of it. It wasn't not yesterday or day before yesterday or something like that. That's when it was just fixed. So I'm sure some people had issues to viewing those videos and all, even me myself.
but it's back up now.
Yes, so it's working now. It's working now. Everybody can consume it.
No, now it's not yet working. No, it's not yet playing for my side.
Yeah. Can you see that? So it's working. Maybe try desktop or try phone, but they fixed it already. So try your system also. Try system.
Okay.
Okay. Please do
So,
the
sorry. So I'm hearing it has been fixed, it has not been fixed. So because of that, I'm just going to briefly, because last week was when we were supposed to do this. We are supposed to talk about do a little bit of introduction to Tailwind CSS and yeah, and do one or two with it. But unfortunately, you couldn't have our class last week because of some misunderstanding. So yeah, but then I'm just going to do just a brush through, just a brush through. So what is Tailwind? Tailwind is a CSS utility first utility first framework. Sorry guys, give me a minute. Sorry about that, guys. So what is Tailwind? Tailwind is a CSS framework because obviously Tailwind is a CSS framework, but then it is unlike every other framework that is like a component library or something. Tailwind is an utility framework. Okay, basically, what does it mean? Utility framework means that it gives you class names for each specific styles that you want. Okay, so we have some frameworks that give you an entire component on their own. Okay, they give you an entire component on their own. Those kind of frameworks, you might not be able to use them for pure HTML and CSS. You will only get to enjoy them when you are doing React and all of those other libraries. But with Tailwind, you can use it in HTML and CSS. Use it in any language you want. And I mean, we have native Tailwind also, which is being used on React Native. It is still Tailwind. Okay, so basically, what Tailwind does it gives you utility. It gives you those utilities that you need to connect with your to your HTML document, to your HTML element, to your React component, to your view component, and every other. So it is reusable. It is usable on any framework that you're working with. Okay, so how do we use Tailwind? So this is the official website for Tailwind, which is tailwindcss.com. Let me just copy that and put it in the chat. You can go through. You can go to the website, go through it, just to check one or two. Okay, so how no, not that. It should be Tailwind CSS. Let me just do this. Yeah, tailwindcss.com. So you can go there, go through it, and how do we install? So we have options of using Vite. That's obviously when you are working with that's obviously when you are working with a JavaScript framework, or you can decide to use Post CSS, which will still require npm installation, and we don't want to go there. Or you can use CLI, which will still require what npm installation, and we are not going there also. Or it has framework guides. So basically, these are the frameworks that you can actually use Tailwind CSS on. Can use it on Next.js, Laravel, Nox, and all of those other frameworks. But we are not getting there. We are not going there either. And now to the one that we are going to be talking about, which is what using it with what CDN. So you can basically to use Tailwind with CDN. CDN means content delivery network. Content delivery network is you just need to grab a link, put it in your header. Okay, you need to just grab what a link, a script, a link, put it in your header, in your head, in the head of your HTML, and bam, Tailwind is connected to your words. Tailwind is connected to your workspace. So I have grabbed the link. Let me just paste it. Let me paste it here. Okay. Sorry, you don't need this one. So yeah, this is it. So Tailwind, this is cdn.jsdeliver.net npm whatever, then Tailwind browser at version 4. Okay, so this is bringing what this is connecting tailwind into our what? Into our what? Our local workspace, our local file. So now let's see tailwind in action. To actually see tailwind in action, okay, so let's just have a test file here. Okay, now let's give it a class name. Now, you know, in CSS, HTML and CSS, when we want to style it, you go into the CSS file, you give it a class name here, go into your CSS file, then style that class name that you've given to your element, right? So now for Tailwind CSS, there are already utilities that have been written in Tailwind. All you just need is grab those utilities and connect it to your element, and voila, your elements have the styles that have been written for those utilities. Okay, what do I mean by utilities? Let's just come back here. Styling with the utility classes. So look at it. Basically, we have MX Auto. What does MX Auto means? Margin on the x-axis, automatic. This is flex. That's when you are talking about flex. This is text Excel. This is when you want to what? Change the font sizes. So basically, there are already utilities that have been written. There are classes that have been written, okay, by the Tailwind team. All you just need is, after connecting it, all you just need to do is just what? Just grab those what? Utility classes that you need. Let's just grab this for example. Okay, no, before we grab that, let's just change this code, the color of this. So for example, let's just say this is text Excel, and it's going to have text red. Let's just do text red 500. Save this, and let's go back to our preview. Did I close it? Oh, shit. I think I closed it. So let me just open it back. So you can see that test with what? With red. So let me just increase this. Let's change something like 8XL. Come back here, reload. You see that? Okay. So basically, I don't need to write CSS. I just need to what? Grab the right what? The right class, the right utility that I need. Okay. If I want this to be green, I just do what? Green. Reload. Bam. If I want it to be darker, I just increase this 800. Reload. If I want it to be very, very light, I just change it to what? Something like 300. Reload. You see that? Okay, so this is Tailwind in action. So if you want to know more about this, you can come to this side. You can come to this side, go through all of these. We have look at this here. We have layout utilities, starting from the box sizing, the display, float, clear. We have object position, we have Z index, we have visibility, we have position. Okay, and then if you want to go talk about flex and grid, we have that section also here. Flex row, section, order, grid, and all of those things. Justify content, justify items, align content, align items, align self. And then in talking about spacing, padding, and margin, you can come here, read about it also. Talking about sizing, talking about the width, the mean width, mean height, and all of those things. You can read that here. Now, talking about typography, we all know what typography is. Typography has to do with text. So what you'll be seeing here is font family, the size, smoothing, the style, the weight, the line height, letter spacing, text decoration, and all of those things. So you can come here, look at it. We even have a background section, we have a border section, we have an effect section, filter section, and all of those things. So you can take your time, come here, play around. I think Tailwind also have let me just see if I can find that. They have a Tailwind playground. Tailwind playground. Tailwind. I'm coming. Let me see if I can get it. Tailwind CSS playground. Is this? No, it's not this. They have a playground. Yeah. So it's play.tailwind.css. Let me just grab this link. So here you can just write your Tailwind here. If you don't want to write up to create the file, create the project locally on your laptop, you can just come here, play around, and then see the result here immediately. So if I grab everything that is here now, give me a minute. If I grab everything that is here now, remove it, automatically it reflects here. Okay. If I put an H1 here, okay, that has the text of test, it automatically reflects. Okay. And then I can give it what, a class of what, text, sorry, text, let's just say yellow 900. Let's just do 800 for now. You see that? And then I can do text, let's just do 8XL. Okay. And also you can see that it has intelligence. Okay, you can see that it has intelligence. So yeah, you can come here, you can try it out. Let me just share this playground. So in case you want to try it out also, you can try it out. And if you want to use it, I already shared the documentation also, so you can use that straightforward. So let's go back to our project. Where is our index.html again? How does this keep closing? Uh okay, let me just open it again. Okay. Okay, so this is our index.html again, is back. Okay, so I'm going to close this playground. Yeah, close. I'm going to close this program now. Let's go back to our words, our Figma file. So first thing first, we want to change the background color of the entire website body. So I can decide to actually use this body for it, or I can decide to have another section here. So which is what I'm going to go. I'm going to go here, have a section that was going to have a class name of what, BG. Let's just go and copy the color code here. I think it's yellow, but I don't want to suggest. So yeah, it's basically just yellow. Let's just go with that. So BG yellow. Oh wait, hold on. I think we have the style guide here. Aha, awesome. So you can just copy this. So in Tailwind here, if you want to have a color and you only have this, say you only have you are working on a Figma file, you have the color code, but you don't know the name of that color, or maybe the name of the color is not even, maybe the color does not even have a name. Okay, maybe it's just one generic color. You can just do this BG, open your square bracket and paste the color code there. Okay, save this now, and this is the body. The height of this is going to be what? Height of what? Let's go with screen, and width of what? Screen. Meaning that it's going, it should have an height of what? The full screen, and the width of what? The full screen. Sorry about that. Um. hmm. Okay, let's copy this color code. Sorry. Okay, let's use this. Hmm. Let's change this to ash. This. Save this. Yeah. So we have our background one down. So now we already have our background. Now we're focusing on what's inside now. We're focusing on this content now. Guys, are we together, please?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Nkechi, Nkechi, I hope I'm not too fast again.
I'm waiting for you to finish so that you help us summarize again. No, but for now, your pace is okay, though you rush at times.
Okay, I will try. Yeah. Now we are going to work on the card, which is this part. So we've worked on the background. Now let's work on the card. So the card has the words. If you look closely, let's just zoom in a little bit more. So if you look at the card here, we have what? The card has a what? A border, a black border going around it, and then it has a what? A white background. So with that, we're going to come here. We're going to have a div, give it a class name. Now it's going to have a what? BG white, basically. Someone is raising their hand. Go on.
Sir, this one you are picking up, it has not yet been uploaded on the LMS, sir.
It has. We in the LMS contents we already covered in Tailwind CSS. Yes.
This one we are creating is also Tailwind. It's also Tailwind, sir.
Yes, very much. Yes. Can you hear me?
All right, sir.
So yeah. So let me just open this file. I don't know why I can't see this in my browser though, but then let's just open it. Okay. So it has what? So let's start with the what? With the what? The background color BG white. Okay, BG white means background color white. So if you are using a BG white, if you want to use, there are only two colors that you can actually do this way, which is white, or if you are doing black. So you can decide to do text white, text black. It still works. But when you are using other color like red, you need to specify um what amount of red do you want. Okay, because when you do text red, it means nothing. So you need to put, is it 100, is it 500, up to what, up to 900. Okay, so let me just remove this and let's go back to what we have. Okay, BG white, and then it's going to have a border of what, gray 950. Okay, so I'm going to now come here. It's going to have border. So for it, for us to actually apply border on this, you need to first what, do border. Okay, you need to first do what, border, and then you now specify the border that you want. Border gray of what, 950. Okay, and then you now do what again? You now do the what, the size. What is the size of this border? 1 pixel. Okay, so by default this is going to be 2 pixels. So if you want to change it to 1 pixel for it to be pixel perfect, you do border hyphen, open this, and then you do 1 pixel. Okay, guys, are we together, please?
Yes, we are.
Hello.
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay. Okay, so is there anyone that is lost in this class?
Ah, very much, sir, but continue, sir.
We cannot continue. We cannot continue because the essence of this class is to, the essence of this class is you have take the LMS content. Now we
Yes,
are
sir.
brushing through.
Because
So
since not taking it, most of us are not taking it. We are just following what you are teaching us until we take it on our, until we also follow it on our own self also.
okay, so Nkechi, at what point were you lost?
Okay. Just like Bukayo said, when we watch the video, I think we'll be able to also get a better understanding of what you've been doing. So, to answer your question, the part where you got this design that we're um trying to
Working with,
replicate.
okay, so this part where we got this
Yes,
design,
yes.
this part, the part where we got this design is actually not the only on the LMS content. Okay, this is
Oh,
basically for this week, for this week's session. So where I got the content, where I got that challenge from was from front end method. Let me just take that over again. I think that's what basically I'm going to do from here. Ajiboye, I'm going to take your question next, and I think someone else in the comments said something, so I'm going to just do that. So basically, where I got this question from was what, from. Sorry, I'm not opening this. Not this either. Okay, so this is it. Oh, sorry, I'm not opening this either. Not this either. Not this. Yeah, so yeah. So where I basically got this challenge from is from Front End Mentor. What is Front End Mentor? Front End Mentor is a platform. I'm coming, please. Front End Mentor is a platform for you to just come, take challenges. Okay, you have different challenges here. Take the challenges. It's just for you to be able to have hands-on practice, things that you can actually show. Okay, you are learning and you're in a boot camp now. At the end of the boot camp, you want to get into an internship. What do you have that you can actually show the recruiter that I've done this, I've done this, I've done this? Okay, you don't want to be part of those that just go yes, I was part of the boot camp, I finished with the boot camp. Okay, yes, you are part of the boot camp, you finished boot camp. What do you have to prove that you have actually been through the boot camp? Nothing. So you don't want to be part of those people. And the reason why I'm introducing us to front end method. So front end method has series of challenges. So if you come here, explore. Now this is because I'm logged in. If you're not logged in, you'll not be seeing all of this. So if you come to challenges, now you can filter here. Okay, their difficulty levels. So they're in the filter, there are difficulty levels. We have the newbie, the junior, intermediate, advanced, guru, based on the difficulty level you want. Also, we have languages. So if you want something that has to do with HTML and CSS only, you can pick this. If you want something that has JavaScript also, you can pick it. And if you want something that has API consumption also, you can pick this also. Okay. And also we also have the type. There's the free type, there's a free plus, and then there's the premium. So the free, what you get is you get a couple of design images. Okay, you just get the design images like we have here. So these are what you are going to be getting. You get this, you get this, you get the desktop view, you get the tablet view if there's any, and then you get the mobile view, and then you get the style guide. That's for free. So, but if you are working on the one that is free plus, you will get the what? Let me just open the one for us. So let me just open free plus. So like this one that we're working on is free plus. So when you're working on the one that is free plus, the only difference between free plus and free is this. Free plus, for free plus, you actually get the Figma. Okay, you will actually get the Figma, but when you're working on free, you only get this last ones. You will not get the first, you will not get the Figma file. Okay, but if you have a premium account, obviously you're going to get everything. You're going, if there's even anything extra you're supposed to get, you're going to get it. So yeah, that is that about front end mentor. And then we picked this challenge to do. So I think someone raised their hand earlier. So let me just take the question before I move on. Someone raised their hand earlier, said Ajibuye. Okay, Ajibuye, do you want to ask your question now?
No, no, no. I think it was the other raised up then, sir.
Oh, okay. So that is front end method, which and that is where we got the challenge from. So we downloaded the starter file, downloaded the Figma file, and then we brought it to Figma, we imported it to Figma, and then that is how we got the design. Okay. So that is how we got the design. And then I went ahead and did
Okay, thank you, sir.
and then I went ahead, you're welcome, Kichi. And then I went ahead and did an introduction to Tailwind CSS. I said Tailwind CSS is an utility-based CSS framework. Okay. Unlike every other CSS framework that gives you, I mean, we have component library that give you the component, an entire component on from them. Okay. Even for Chakra, you'll be getting something like box, you'll be getting something like H stack, V stack, and all of those things. So which is actually different from your normal HTML and CSS. But for Tailwind CSS, you get the class names that gives you the style for what you want. Okay, if you want this color, if you want this text to be bolder, you just put the class name font bold, font bolder, font bold, font semi bold. Okay, that's that. If you want it to be big, text XL, you can go 2XL, 3XL, 4XL, and I think the maximum now is about 8XL. That's that if you want it to be bigger. Okay, if you want it to be if you want the background color to change, BG, that's for background, hyphen, whatever color you want. So if you do BG white, it gives you white background. If you do BG black, it gives you black background. If you now do BG any other color that you now want to use now, you now need to put the gradient. For example, BG red, hyphen, then you now put the gradient. The gradient starts from 50, 100, down to 900. I think down to 950 rather. Sorry, down to 950. Okay, that is that about BG. And then you can also do what? You can also do a background image also. So I shared the link to this website in the chat section. We can go through it. So what I want us to basically do is to just have an hands-on. Let's use this Tailwind CSS and let's see it in action. Let's see what it can do. Guys, are we together at this point? Can we now go back to the challenge?
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
Awesome.
thank you,
So
no
now at
problem.
this point now, I will now try to go as slow as possible. So for that reason, I'm now going to take out everything that we currently have in our HTML now. This let's take these out. Okay, it's what does it look like? What does it look like? Okay, let's refresh. Bam, the white screen because what our HTML is currently blank. Okay, awesome. Now, first thing we want to do is what we want to achieve a what a yellow background from the design. Okay, we want to achieve what a yellow background from the design. So we already have the color code for the yellow. So instead of doing BG whatever to be looking for the BG yellow and then be looking for the right gradient, we can as well just go into the style guide and just copy the color code. Okay. So, but before we go there, I can decide to use this body as my entire body, or I can decide to use another section like I did earlier, and which is what I'm going to be sticking to. I don't want to tamper with the root with the root body. Okay, so I just want to have another section here and use it as my body. Okay, now I want it to have an height to be full. I want the height to be full and the width to be full. Okay, I want the height to be what full and the width to be full. To do that, I can do what? There are two options in HTML. So we can either do H and sorry in Tailwind rather. Sorry, we can either do H full like this and width full like this, which basically means what height of what 100%, width of what 100%. So when you are talking about height and width, you use H to denote it. H hyphen whatever size you want to specify. Okay, so if I want to specify a custom style or a custom size, after the hyphen, I put what? A square bracket. And inside of the square bracket, I put the size that I want there, or the color that I want there, or the value that I want there. Guys, are we together? Cool. So now I want this to be what? Full screen. So I can do H full or H full and W full, or I can do what? H screen and W screen, which is still the same thing as saying what 100 VH and 100 VW. Can someone now help me in the call? What is VW? What is VH? Nkechi, please don't answer. I'm going to just call on someone. I'm going to call on someone myself. I don't want to call Ayantade either. I don't want to call Alex too. Ah, everybody that I'm seeing on this call seems like people that used to come to class. uh okay, come on, Lafe. Come on, Lafe, are you there? Okay, he's not there. So we're going to go with Pelumi. Yeah, Pelumi. What is VH? What is VW? Hello, can you guys hear me? Oh, okay. Okay,
I,
okay.
so please the question again.
I said I made mention of VH and VW just now, and I know we spoke about it in our past class. So I'm asking you, what is VH? What is VW?
Right. I think VH is viewport height and VW is viewport width.
Awesome, very good. But can you now explain what it means?
Ha. No, sir.
Okay.
Okay, I think. Please, can you
Okay.
hear me? I
Yes, I
want
can
to
hear you.
try.
Okay, go on. Go
I
on.
think VH it means the what's it called? The height of the browser window. While VW is the width of the browser window.
God bless you. Simple as that. VH means the height of the browser window. VW means the width of the browser window. You see, Nkechi is already celebrating you. So
Thank you.
awesome. Thank you very much. So H screen means 100 VH, the entire height of the browser window. W screen means what? The entire width of what? The browser window. Now we want the BG to be now because we want to put a custom value here. Okay, if you want to put a custom value, you don't do this. Say BG this. No, you don't do something like this. So the custom value has to go into a what? Inside a what? A square bracket, and then you put an hash and then you paste the value there. Okay, when we save this, come here now, reload, bam, we can see our color now. Bam, we are done with the body part. Guys, are we together up to this point? Guys, I can't see any feedback. I can't hear anything. No. Okay, awesome. So now moving on now. Now we want to talk about what? This card. Okay. The first thing that we'll first notice on this card, the things that we'll notice on this card is what? We have a white background, we have a border, and we have a border radius also. We have a white background, we have a border, and we have a border radius also. So let's go back into our HTML. We're coming in here. We have a div. Okay. We have a div. Okay. What do we want to give to the div? We want to give it a class name. A class name of what? It has a white background, which is what? That's what? BG white. Okay. Next, we have a what? A border. So to give border to in Tailwind CSS, to apply border, you have to first say border, meaning that I want to apply border. Then you now specify the border color. And I think from here, this border color here should be 950, border gray 950, and then you can now specify the width. So you can either have border 2, border 4, border 3. So when you are doing border 2, if you do border 2, what this border 2 means is what? 4 pixel times 2. Let's just go into the Tailwind CSS. Let's go into the Tailwind CSS documentation so we can see that. Border. Let's just search for that. Yeah, border width. Awesome. So this is it. So when you do border, it's basically going to go 1 pixel. But when you do it's not showing me what I want to see. So when you do border 2, why is it not showing me what I want to see? I want to see the measuring unit. I want to show the measuring unit. Oh, it's not showing it. Okay. So you can go with border 2, and also it's just the same way we can actually do border top, border bottom, bottom left, border right, or just the same way you can do that. You can actually do that on in Tailwind also. So instead of having border 2, you can do border -T-2, border -B-2, so something like that. Okay, and then you can do so for this here, we're going to go with, let's just go with border 2. And then what else do we need to achieve in our CSS, from our design? So it has a border radius of what? 20. It has a border radius of 20. I don't know why my intelligence is not working. There should be there's an extension, a VS Code extension that's supposed to make my Tailwind intelligence work. I don't know why it's not working. Let's just look for a Tailwind. Yeah, this is why you know working. So why is it not working? So let's go back to our HTML. It's not still working. Okay, so let's leave it. So our border, the border we want to achieve here is what? Border radius of what? 20 pixel. How do I know that? Just look at it here. Corner radius 20. Yeah. Someone wants to say something.
Yes, no, I was about to ask, how do you know it's 20? Because I was
Oh,
not saying it.
oh, okay. So this is it here. We can actually see corner radius here. So corner radius,
Okay, okay, by the side.
yeah.
Oh,
So and then the
okay.
stroke, the stroke is the border property. So stroke of what? This is the color gray 950, and then we have what 1 pixel. The weight is what 1 pixel. So that is that. So that's how I got to know that the border radius I want to achieve is what 20 pixel. So to achieve border radius, what you do is what rounded. Okay. Now rounded, you can have rounded SM, XL, LG, and then you can have 2XL, 3XL, and so on and so forth. But because my intelligence is not working, let's come here and let's see what rounded unit gives us 20 pixel. Rounded. Yeah, but that videos. Um mm, sizing. Let's see sizing if it's going to show this. No, I can't remember where all of this. Give me a minute. Is it here? No, it's not here. I want us to be able to see each unit. No, it's not here. Mm, is it okay, let's check this. Options and directives. No, it's not here either. Okay, so let's just go with custom border rounded 20 pixel. So let's just go with this 120 pixel. And also, what else do we need to achieve on this design? We already have the border color, we already have the border radius, we already have the background color. What else do we need to achieve? We need to achieve the what? The size. Okay, we have a width of what 384 pixel. Originally, I wouldn't okay, no, don't let us don't let us make it have a fixed width. So we'll not be using the width, but rather there's a padding inside of this element. You can see that every element inside of it is not touching it. Okay, there's a padding inside of it. So to get the padding, I don't know. Okay, so on MacBook, after clicking on the element that you have, you click on the option and then put your cursor to the inside element. So it gives you what? Sorry, give me a minute. Why is it not working? Why is this only working for Magic? Okay, so let's click on this. No, this. Okay, so this is the group. What is this? Yeah. So this from this down to this, so 24. So we can actually see the actual margin unit. You see that? So this element that is inside of it, if you click on it and then you click on the command, the option key on your keyboard. I think on Windows that should be alternate. Yeah, on Windows that should be alternate. So when you click on that inner one, the inner element, the inner component, and then you click on Alt and then move your cursor to the outer element. So it shows you the space in between the two elements. Okay, so for example, now if I want to look at the space between this element and this one, what do? I click on this one and then hold my command key and then put my cursor to this other one. Now I can see that there's 12 pixels distance between these two elements. So now our concern is this one. This is our priority because that's what we're currently working on. So this one to the outer element is what 24 pixel. That means we're going to be having a padding of what 24 pixel. So to have padding is what P. If it is margin, it is M. Okay, padding is what P. Now you can either do the way we have shortcut for margin and padding on HTML and CSS, where we can have padding of 20 pixel and then it applies 20 pixel on all sides. Yeah, we can also do the same thing here. Okay, so for us to have 24 pixel, we're going to do P6. Let me see if padding Let me see. Let me show us the documentation for margin and padding. I think that should be in spacing. Yeah, spacing. So this is it here. Look at it here. You have P. P denotes that you want to start applying what? Padding. And then you now put the number in front of it. So how did you calculate? How does it calculate the math? This is the calculating function. So sorry. So if you do P hyphen PX, it does what? It just do give you what? 1 pixel. But if you do P hyphen this custom thing, that the custom value that I said, it just give you the padding of that custom value. Okay. Now I believe they're supposed to put the unit here, but they did not still put the unit. Okay, let's just go back. I remember where the unit is actually. So for us to actually know why P2 is 8 pixel, why P3 is 12 pixel. So when we do P2, it is 4 times 2. That will give us what? 8 pixel. If you do P1, that's 4 times 1. That will give us what? 4 pixel. So if you do P5, that is what? 4 times 5. That will give us what? 20 pixels. So that's what? The padding of what? 20 pixels. Here now, what we want to achieve is what? A padding of what? A padding of 24 pixels. That's what? 24 divided by 4 will give us what? 6. Hence P. Hence the reason why we have P6 here. And then I'm going to just save this, come back here and reload. We can see the div. Look at the div here. See as it's stretched through the entire thing. Okay, see how it's stretched through the entire thing. So for this reason, let's just give it width and height that we didn't want to give it earlier. I actually didn't want us to give it a fixed width and height before, but let's just give it for now. We're going to get rid of it later. So it has a width of what? 384 pixels. So I'm just going to do a width of, because I want a custom value, I'm putting this square bracket 384 pixel, and then it's going to have an height of what does the height say here? 522 pixel. Okay, save this, come back here, bam. Now we have the card, but it is not sitting in the right position. If you come here in the design, you can see that it is sitting at the direct center of the screen. At the direct center of the screen. So how can I make it sit at the direct center of the screen? Okay, the very, very easy method. So there are two methods actually. So you can decide to go with flex. Okay, that way you come to the parent, okay, give the parent a flex class, and then it automatically flex the child, and then you can now say items center, which means align items. Item center means align items center. Item center, and then you can do justify center also. Justify center means justify content center. Let me just show us that so it doesn't look like I'm speaking English. So let's just go to that should be layouts. It should be oh sorry, flex and grid. Yeah, this is it. So justify content. So when you want to do justify content, you do justify hyphen the value. So if you want it to come to the center, you do justify center. Okay, so this is what we're going to be using for this, and then automatically reload this. It pushes this to the center of the screen. Okay, now what if I don't want to use flex? Okay, because I mean this is just one content, it's just one element inside of the whole parent. What if I don't want to use flex? Okay, yeah, there's also another way to actually do that. So what other way can we achieve this? Let's remove this flex first, save this, reload this, it goes back to its normal position. Now on the particular element itself, we can give it margin on the x-axis to be auto, or we can basically just say margin on all sides to be what? Auto. So when we say margin on all sides, it means that I just want this element, I don't want it to align on any edges. 1, 2, I want it to be centered on I want it to be centered on all sides rather. Okay. So now we have that MX02. We have that. Now to push it into the center horizontal. I'm sorry, is this horizontally? I think this is vertically rather. Yeah, vertically rather. So let's see if this would work. If it doesn't work, then we're going to resort back to our flex. MY auto, margin on the y-axis auto. Okay, it's not working. So let's just resort back to our flex, JJ, before we get lost. So flex, then justify center and items center. Bam. And then it sits at the center of our screen. So far, yeah, we've been able to achieve the body, the white background, the card with the white background, the border, the radius, and we've been able to push it to the center of the screen. Guys, do we have any question up to this point? Because it seems like we've spent an hour and 9 minutes. Someone raise their hand, then come to the class. Yeah, Tawhid. Hey, someone is saying the
Good afternoon.
yeah, good afternoon.
Sorry, good evening rather. I want to
Mhm.
ask if this class is it being recorded?
Yes, very much. The class is being recorded.
Okay, so we can see like we can watch a review after the class.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Ayatade, can you see my screen now? I just stopped sharing my screen and shared again. Can you see my screen now? Ayatade, can you see my screen now? Can you guys see my screen? Can anyone see my screen? Okay, Alex can see my screen. I think Kechi can also see my screen. Okay. Oyeni and Ayantade, can you guys see my screen now? Ayantade left the call. Oh, I guess it's his network. Okay. Okay, Oyeni, yes, yes. Oyeni has confirmed that. So far we've been able to achieve the card centered in the screen. We've been able to achieve the body background also. So at this point, we have two options. We can either push forward or we can call it a day. So let's see what we can do before we call it a day. Yeah, let's just do this image part, because I mean this is just an image, so it's not something that is going to be very serious. So let's just do that image part. So inside of this div, we want to bring an image in here. Okay, we're going to have an img with the src pointing to, let's see if we have the illustration here. Okay, yeah, this is it. Cool. Also, so with the src pointing to from here, go into the assets, then go into the images and then catch this one. Okay, and then for the alternate text, we can just copy this and put it here. Okay, now we can now give it a class name of width. So let's refresh this first and let's see what it looks like. Okay, it doesn't look bad actually, it looks cool, but then for safety purpose, just the width of full. And now we now need to talk about the radius, because it has a radius also. um it has a radius of what, 10 pixel. So we're going to go with what, rounded of what, rounded of 10 pixel. Save this, refresh. You see that? Okay, so up to this point, guys, is there anything that has confused you or that has got you lost, guys? Anybody? Okay, Chi, is
Um,
that you?
yeah, yes, it's me. Yeah, okay. Yeah, have I forgotten it? Okay, yeah, you put the tag for the image in div. I was thinking maybe we're supposed to put it in the head.
for the image.
Yes, for that.
Mm,
Yeah,
no,
I thought okay.
because the image is supposed to go inside of this card. So yeah, it's the reason why it's
Oh,
inside of the.
okay. So if I put in the head, it doesn't. It won't be displayed in the card.
Why do you want to put an IMG in the head, though? Look at what it looks
Oh,
like when you put it in the head.
okay. Cause my assignment, I noticed that my image was not really positioned the way I wanted it. So I was wondering why. I guess because I put it in the head. I'll go
Mm,
and try.
please don't put your image in the head again. I mean, HTML
Okay.
element has nothing to do in the head. The only HTML element that goes inside the head are all of these ones, and these ones are not just ordinary HTML elements; they are special elements like the meta, the script, the link, the title, and all of those things. The style; those are the ones that goes into the head. Your every other of your HTML element that you know that you want it to be part of your website. The
Mm,
elements that you know you want to be part of your website should be in the body.
body.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Are we together?
Thank you.
Do you get it now?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, Tawheed. The Figma is in edit mode. It's not in dev mode. It's in edit mode. Um, guys, any other question at this point? Because I'm feeling like we should actually run through this thing. We should run through this thing. I feel like we should run through this thing. But then, any other question, guys, before we go on?
So, this one you are thinking of, you said is in our content to consume for this week.
The tailwind CSS. The tailwind, yes, for in the LMS, there's tailwind CSS in the
This
LMS
one we are
content.
taking. This one we
But
are
this
taking of.
challenge that we are taking, this challenge that we are currently working on, is not in the tailwind. I said this earlier, and I'm saying it again. The reason why I'm introducing you guys to front end mentor is for you to have enough challenges, for you to have convert enough UIs, so that you have something to actually prove that you know what you know, and not by the words of mouth. So you are not going to be, because I mean you go explain tire. So you don't go explain tire. That is the reason why I'm introducing you to front end mentor. So you have something to actually prove that yes, this thing that I'm telling you that I know. Look at it. I have done this one before. I have done this one before. I have done this one before. So yeah. Any other question? No question. No question. Okay, so I'm going to stop here actually. I'm going to stop the class here. I'm going to stop the class here actually. Come here, I want to go back to the Figma design. So I'm going to stop the class here actually. So because what we actually have left to do are not really serious. Okay, so what we need to do next is we need to have a div to house this entire part, and then we put this element, we put an h1 element here, style it, put a paragraph element, style it, put an h1 element again, style it, and put a paragraph element, style it also. And then we have an image element that is going to, we have a div element to hold this part. Okay, and then there's going to be an img inside it, and then the paragraph text goes beside it also. So that's basically what we have left to do. If I'm supposed to rush through it, I'm going to finish this thing in the next 5-10 minutes, but I don't want to rush through it because I mean the essence of this call is to train us. So I'm going to take it that for this week we are going to go and consume the LMS content. We are going to consume the LMS content, including the tailwind part. So I'm going to send an assignment. Today is Sunday. I'm going to send an assignment on Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning. Sending an assignment on Wednesday morning, meaning that I'm expecting that everybody have consumed the LMS content by Tuesday night. So on Wednesday morning, an assignment is going to be dropped. It's going to it's going to be a front end mentor challenge. you are to convert the design to an actual code, and you're going to submit your code, and that will be your assignment for this week. So like I said, we're going to be calling it a day. Any question, any observation, any any concern? Yeah, I want to go on, please.
So what about those that their elements content are not clean yet? Like me.
I on that part, I honestly don't know what to say. But can you reach out to Ajiboye? Maybe Ajiboye can help you speak to the admin, and you can see something. You can just troubleshoot around and see what's wrong and what's not wrong and all of those things.
Okay, sir.
All right. Um. Yeah. So in the absence of any other question, we are going to call it a day, and I will see you guys in the next class. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much, sir.
You are welcome. You guys are welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.